The real Blair Witch incidents. We about to see this. What? I knew it was based off some real stuff, man. I don't know why. Okay, that what's up, bro. He got him a podcast now. Y'all make sure y'all check his stuff out, bro. You know we love Nexpo over here, bro. Much love platonically. You know. Yeah.
Well, to be honest with you, this isn't really about anything. This is about us.
It's about us, baby. It's about us. In March 2002, five friends in Michigan filmed themselves kidnapping a young woman. Oh my. What's going on in Michigan, man? Hey, shout out to Michigan people. As long as you ain't doing that. 5 days later, friends are arrested. They now face life in prison. Oh, she tweaking. She mad. Don't be mad. Or you watching the game. I don't know. Games are crazy nowadays.
It's a late night. Unassuming. Quiet.
Right.
The Walton Files blares on your bedroom TV, filling the void of darkness around you. It's peaceful, comfortable.
I can feel that. I can feel that.
You scroll through Reddit, searching for something to pass the time. Before, out of nowhere,
Lost documentary, the real Blair
a lone
Witch.
post by an Emerald Spring populates your feed. They're searching for something, some sort of lost documentary called The Real Blair Witch.
What is this, bro?
There seems to be so little information about this documentary out there and absolutely nowhere to watch it. I recall it being...
I'm gonna let y'all know one thing now. We praise God over here. Jesus Christ is the Savior. So, you know, always make sure you keep him in your hearts. And we ain't taking in no negativity. We rebuke all evil as we go into this. Let's go.
On TV, and there's one or two references to it out there. It has nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project and is more of a true crime documentary. I'd love to see it again, and it's frustrated me for years now, not being able to track it down. It must be out there in some archive somewhere, but I'm guessing its lack of availability kind of makes it lost. At first glance, this seems relatively unassuming. Yet another lost media mystery with hardly a lead to go on. Yet
I feel like stuff like this is real hidden, like literally hidden by someone.
I don't know what it is, but something about the way this is framed, the lack of information, something about this has sparked something. Within their post, Emerald Spring provides a link to its IMDb page, revealing that there's hardly anything to go off of.
I'm about to say a movie.
The page is barren. Just one review, a release year, and director.
What?
The only tangible bit of info here is the plot summary.
Hold on, wait. I just realized that movie say the real Blair Witch. These the Blair Witches I seen. You feel me? these the ones that I saw. I ain't heard of you.
Which is barren. Just one review, a release year, and director. The only tangible bit of info here is the plot summary. A group of teens from Flint, Michigan film themselves kidnapping and terrorizing a new acquaintance before taking her out to the woods.
I remember that was all like
a shallow grave.
Explain.
They then taunt their terrified and blindfolded victim, asking if she had any last requests before they cut her throat. But was the kidnap real or just a game? what's revealed is an
What?
extraordinary and disturbing record
That's
of a
a
night when
edit,
something
too.
went terribly, terribly wrong.
I'm guessing you could change. Anybody can change that.
Well, now you've got my attention.
Odin Valhalla Rising, now available on mobile and PC.
But nah, that
exclusively
shit
with Google
crazy,
Play
bro.
Games.
Look at that. That's fire.
With such a graphic, visceral description of such an inhumane crime, curiosity in this case took off on Reddit. Comment after comment poured in, expressing interest in this case took off.
I remember watching this documentary on UK's Channel 4. I remember it being fairly interesting, and I'm surprised I haven't managed to find it again. It was about a real kidnapping of a girl. It did seem like the girl was in on it at some points, and at other points it looked like she was in fear for her life.
Off on Reddit. Comment
I mean, I remember when I was watching it, bro, like, actually watching it, the girl or the dudes, you can clearly tell when they're not on her side and when they are.
after
You gotta
comment
see it,
poured
bro.
in,
If you haven't
expressing
seen Blair
interest in
Witch,
tracking
watch
this
it.
footage
It's
down.
lit.
Most believed in its existence, others not so much. Regardless, though, the common theme here was intrigue. The Blair Witch Project, back when it came out, was horrifying, and the
Yeah.
implications of someone recreating this in real life to torment a very real person sounds like it's straight out of a nightmare.
Exactly.
What in the world did Emerald Spring watch back then?
Like, what do you mean the
truly
real?
is this? Over the following weeks, whispers about the doc's existence would trickle in. Mentions in online articles. A trailer on a production company called Raw TV's own Vimeo page. But what really sent this mystery into the stratosphere was nearly an entire year later when a Redditor named Transbian8787 would chime in with the revelation that no one saw coming. The real Blair Witch,
Uploading.
as it turned out,
What?
was very real.
Studio
However,
Master
once Pandora's
copy?
box was opened and the internet began to sink their collective teeth into it, it was realized that this story is much, much stranger than anyone had imagined. The real Blair Witch isn't just a film. It's a glance into one of the eeriest, most bizarre incidents that I have ever read about,
Oh, man.
ensnaring nearly everyone involved.
The real. Ooh, that's just the intro, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of an emergency, please walk to the nearest exit.
Walk to your nearest exit.
Thank you.
I'll see it. If you scared, go home. If you scared, go home. Or you already at home, but go to church.
When the Blair Witch Project hit theaters in 1999, it didn't just scare audiences, it changed the horror genre. More than just a film, it became
That
a
was a
psychological
blockbuster.
experiment
That's what
that
you
made
call a
people question
blockbuster
what
right
was
there.
real and what
That's
wasn't.
really what a blockbuster was.
The
When a
setup
whole
was
group
simple.
of people.
3 young
See,
filmmakers
the thing that some people don't know, a blockbuster, I know we got those now, you know, those bootleg movies or whatever you want to call them, but back then, blockbuster really, like, is when a movie came out in a theater and the whole street was filled with people. Like, I mean, packed with people. And everybody, that's a blockbuster because, you know, you get it. You see what I'm saying?
set out to document an old urban legend, only to vanish without a trace. What remained was the footage they left behind. But unlike traditional horror films, this story had no scripted feel, no heart-stopping jump scares, just raw,
Holy.
unfiltered horror. The shaky camera
remember
work,
that part.
improvised dialogue, and eerie silence between panicked breaths all made it feel
Oh,
as if it
girl.
were set in reality. And that was exactly the point. The movie,
Could've
as you'd
never
expect,
expected it.
became an overnight sensation, shattering records and opening the door to a completely
Blockbuster.
fresh, realistic, and raw form of terror. However, its impact stretched well beyond the film industry. Suddenly, horror fans, amateur filmmakers, and thrill seekers were heading into abandoned locations and recording eerie footage. And the internet soon became a breeding ground for low-resolution videos.
Is this
claiming
where
to
we got the
document
stuff for
real
back
paranormal
rooms?
encounters. Some were easily debunked, others less so. And that's where things began to take a strange turn. Because when an entire generation starts to believe that some of the most terrifying things can be caught on a simple high-8 tape, it's only a matter of time
That looked creepy.
before someone tries to prove it.
Sad world, man. Sad world. Fuck, just be normal. Like, bro, everybody's
Alright,
different
guys,
in their
before we
own way,
continue,
but we
I'd
know
like to
what
tell you about
normal
tonight's
is
video
when we're
sponsor,
saying,
NordVPN.
like, law-abiding,
Alright,
bro.
so lately I've been traveling quite a bit for my ghost hunting channel, Nick and Ryan. And with this, I've been using public Wi-Fi considerably. You might not know this,
Something
but
happened to
that
bruh.
free
Eye, he
Wi-Fi
caught
that
a-
airports and
a
coffee
right
shops
hook.
offer, did you know that literally
Somebody gave
anyone
him
can
a right hook
intercept
to
any
the eye,
data
boy.
that you send through it? Anyone with the knowledge to do so can jump onto these networks and
I
peer in
realize.
on your browsing history, things you say, and
Yeah, I feel you. I need to get that. And you need to get your ass up out of here.
February 2002.
2002.
It's a frigid night in the town
Look
of
at that
Flint,
camera.
Michigan.
It
And
do
a
look fire.
19-year-old named Danielle Taylor crosses paths with a 20-year-old Travis Peya, a community college student with big dreams of making horror films. Peya shared a house with a man named John Cockrell, another student and self-proclaimed horror
Look
fanatic.
at bro. He already looked like the badass delinquent kid in the movies that's just sitting around smoking cigarettes with goddamn leather jackets, and that's not even me being judgmental. That's me pointing it out, bro. He looks like a evil emo kid almost.
Their house, it was the spot per se, the hangout for their
spot.
tight-knit circle, which included a James Carwell,
Yeah, let's meet at the
Christina
spot.
Lum, and Derek Faxlinger. At first, everything seemed mundane within their friend group. Danielle would visit the house a handful of times, and nothing seemed all that out of the ordinary. Just a few
Bros,
weeks
know
later,
he's zooming
on the
too
night of
far
March
in.
6th, however, their entire dynamic would, out of nowhere, take a dark turn. By complete surprise, Danielle was restrained, blindfolded,
What?
handcuffed, and threatened with murder. And all of it filmed on
Oh my
a single
gosh.
high-8 tape.
Say hello.
I wouldn't, bro.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Pick your friends
The video
wisely, guys.
opens
Pick your
inside a
friends
dimly lit
wisely.
house, bathed in the eerie green glow.
Cause look at this nigga behind her. Look at him. Bro, nah, bro. Like, this shit pure evil. Look at this smile, dog. Bro, I'm glad I paused it right here, bro. Bro, watch your friends, dog. Watch your friends. Watch your friends, bro. That dude right there, he's a recipe for disaster, boy. Look at him. Like, he is not a good person. He is not a good person smiling like that behind this woman. No. I refuse to believe it.
Say hello.
Look at him.
Okay, I have a question for you.
The video opens inside a dimly lit house,
Watch.
bathed in the eerie green glow that can only
Look
be
at
provided
that.
by an old school night vision camera. Danielle stands front and center,
Hell
seeming a
no.
bit annoyed that she's being filmed. Behind the camera is Travis Peya,
Hell no.
his voice steady as he asks her a strange question. What would you say if you knew this was your last day on Earth?
What?
Danielle smirks, brushing off the question with a simple, fuck you. There's a heavy undercurrent of something else, though. Something unspoken. A shadow moves behind her.
Exactly.
One of the men steps forward, revealing something in his hands. A blindfold, maybe a gag, and the moon shifts. Travis prompts Danielle again, this time instructing to say ready, set, go. Sensing something is off, she refuses.
Exactly. Y'all
Someone's
boys
behind her.
playing with her.
Something is up here. She turns. Yet
Oh,
before she
girl.
can react, multiple hands grab at her. She barely has time to respond before she's wrestled.
Who
to
are
the
all
ground.
these people?
She fights briefly.
What?
But it doesn't take long for her to realize she isn't getting away. Whatever this is,
I can't watch this, bro. Bro, I can't watch shit like this, bro. But we gonna push through it, man. Push through it
the
for
scene
y'all.
cuts.
That shit crazy, bro. They tied her up and shit.
We find ourselves in a car.
Yeah, welcome
The
to the
light
chat,
goes
Shay.
back.
Oh,
Again,
man.
night vision. Danielle sits in the back seat, blindfolded, scared out of her mind. She's stiff, her face only showing fear. Christina Lum, the only other woman to appear in the video, is driving. She doesn't say much, just keeps her eyes on the road. At first, the guys verbally taunt her, but there's this edge to it. And then we see it. One of them, Jonathan Cockrell, has a knife.
See?
And it's pressed right up.
I knew
against
he
her.
was gonna be the nigga with it.
They start asking her
I knew it.
questions.
I already knew
Did you
that.
have a good life? Say
What?
your last words to your family. If you could go back in time and change anything.
These
Would
niggas
you?
giving her 21 questions on the brink of.
Danielle hesitates. She tells her mom she loves her. She says she's sorry for everything. She tells those in the car with her that she has nothing to say to them. Nothing she says will be right anyway. No one reassures her. No one tells her it's okay.
Ooh, it's
And the
not
video
okay.
Cuts again.
Damn, poor girl, what?
Deep in the heart of the forest, the camera follows as James carries Danielle over his shoulder. The group moves with a sense of purpose, heading straight for a spot they've already prepared. A shallow grave, barely 2 or 3 feet deep. They set her down before explaining what's coming next. They're going to cut her before burying her alive and leaving her to die. Travis stands over the pit, knife in hand. The blindfold that had been covering Danielle's eyes is pulled down around her neck, and she doesn't say a word. Following this, Travis kneels down, brings the blade right up to her, and then
Oh my gosh, no, bro.
Nothing.
Oh my, huh? They playing with her, bro.
he never actually cuts her. He mimes the act of slashing Danielle's throat before she goes completely limp and pretends to be dead.
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to
It's
the
fate.
afterlife.
Just like that, the entire mood shifts. The group starts laughing, giving each other pats on the back over what they had just done.
Oh, so it really
One by
was
one, they turn to the camera, introducing themselves, explaining their roles in this so-called film.
What?
They even take bows, grinning the entire time.
I knew it.
Danielle Taylor, as it turned out, wouldn't die that night. Contrary to the knife being held to her throat, contrary to her being tied up against her will, contrary to her being thrown haphazardly into a
They
massive
had to
hole
get
in
it
the
real,
ground,
they said.
this was nothing but a stunt.
And
A
she
prank
wasn't in
for a
on
movie.
it.
Funny, right?
No. I wouldn't find that shit funny in the slightest.
Halting the recording, the group unties her, harping on just how realistic, how entertaining her reaction was. Surely, this will seem visceral enough to make it to film. This was their big break, their escape from Flint, Michigan,
Bro, they
after all.
think you, oh no. I don't know about that.
For Danielle, though, she was far from fine.
Exactly,
Just
bro.
a
That's
few minutes
traumatic as
before,
hell.
she thought she was dying. She had nothing to laugh about here because the entire joke was solely on her.
Exactly.
Danielle.
So far, it's been easy to follow Danielle's state of mind throughout this. A woman trapped by those she trusted, a
Exactly.
victim of an inhumane prank. However,
It wasn't
that's where
funny,
our
bro.
central problem begins. Because was this really? Was this all nothing but a sick joke? That is the question that soon becomes the heart of this entire incident. And the answer depends on who you believe.
The real Blair Witch. wonder what they mean by that. Depends on what we believe.
Whether you're a professional or simply take pride in tackling your own outdoor projects, Harbor Freight offers gas.
I'm tired of that ad, chat. I'm about to get it going.
It looks like an ordinary day in the USA, but in the city of Flint, Michigan, all is excitement. Even the small fry are buzzing.
Okay.
And the older boys and girls are let out of school. Oh, this is a day. The whole town's a bustle. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a parade, too. And what's a parade without festive bunting and gala decorations?
What happened, bro?
The city of Flint, Michigan is undoubtedly one of desolation.
My bad.
It's a place once bustling, lively, full of opportunity. Yet today, it stands as nothing but a shell of what it once was. When the automotive industry backed away, it left a void of broken dreams, families with shattered aspirations. It's depressing that something like this can actually happen to those who had no hand in the matter at all. Like we established, the Blair Witch Project shattered the world, sending audiences into a frenzy and inspiring loads of those with nothing but a camera to create something horrifying of their very own. The entire group maintains that they all had hopes, dreams to get out of Flint and to make something of themselves. And while they could have chosen a myriad of ways to do that, the film industry, for once in its near century-long history, felt like something attainable, a vehicle to a completely new life.
3 days later. See, chat, bro, I couldn't. You gotta watch who you hang with, chat. Got to.
In the following days, Danielle Taylor, reeling from the incident on March 6th, would revisit the Peya home. It was done on invitation, a night for all of them to rewatch their masterpiece. Yet for Danielle, she had other plans.
If you scream and you fight, we put a gag in your mouth and throw you in the trunk. If you relax and accept death and what's coming to you.
After the tape ran its course, she secretly swiped it, replaced it with another, and after the events of that night had wound down, she set out to report the entire group to law enforcement.
Right.
Within a week, the lives of Jonathan Cockrell, Travis Peya, Christina Lum, James Carwile, and Derek Faxlinger, everyone involved in perpetrating this stunt, would change. They were all arrested, finding themselves awaiting trial on kidnapping and assault charges, and facing anywhere from 7 years to life in prison under Michigan law. Contrary to their claims of simply aspiring to create a horror movie, Danielle Taylor maintained that she had no idea about any of this. To her, this was all very real, and given our glance at the footage, it's easy to empathize with her.
I feel
Interestingly,
bro,
though, support for her wouldn't be unanimous, as once testimonies came out and the footage was given a second look, cracks in the facade began to show. Danielle, at numerous points throughout the footage, does things that make no sense. She scratches her nose. She inquires on if the rope is tight enough. And just minutes after she supposedly thought she was dying, she can be seen laughing alongside the group.
I survived, and I'm freezing and my arms hurt.
If you move anymore, I swear to God, I'm using a blade to do this. Alright?
A bizarre reaction,
I don't know,
especially
bro.
considering
What is
the
going on?
circumstances. Even still, a Lapeer County prosecutor named Brian Concha spoke to the media on Danielle's behalf, maintaining his belief that she did not know that any of it was staged until the end. The prank was intended by the participants, but the last party, the victim, was not in on it. Conversely, attorneys representing the accused said the tape shows that Danielle, in fact, did know that it was a movie, citing the fact that she never begged the group not to kill her, appeared to smile after the gig was up, and had not once told them to stop. She pretends to play dead for about a minute. Once,
Yeah, that too.
if she truly thought she was going to be buried alive, she would have struggled. As we can see, all we have here is a he said, she said situation.
Yeah.
No one here ever knew the answer on if she were acting in this stunt. Not the prosecutors, not their lawyers, no one but Danielle Taylor. In the midst of an intense legal battle, Christina Lum had turned on her group of friends, accepting a plea bargain on a reduced charge of attempted felonious assault, and received a suspended 6-month sentence pending the completion of probation. Derek Faxlinger was ordered to pay a $200 fine. Jimmy Carwile received a 4-month sentence, while Paya and Cockrell got 8 months. All suspended sentences following the completion of probation.
What's the other dude?
All of
He
them
probably has.
inevitably served their time and got out.
You're right.
However, in the end, another affliction entirely would befall them.
They was wrong for that, honestly. I mean, you can't do that to people, bro. Like, that's like, it's just a prank, bro. The prank. Like, like, bro, as funny as that shit sound, bro, that's the truth. You can't do that to people, bro. You just can't. And I hope a lot of you out there know this, man. You can't do this to people.
Travis Paya, the group's ringleader, passed away on Tuesday, April 18th,
What?
2006.
Did he?
Derek Faxlinger passed away on Monday, February 12th, 2007.
Huh?
And Jonathan Cockrell lost his life on Wednesday,
Whoa.
February 19th,
Whoa,
of 2014.
whoa.
All of them were less than 35 years old.
Whoa, what happened?
Almost like a curse, 3 of the 4 men involved in the real Blair Witch incident had died before their lives could even get off the ground, and any information surrounding them barren. All that
Yo,
seemed
I don't
to
wish
exist
death on
was
nobody
hearsay,
though, bro.
notably on the website My Death Space, in which Travis Paya's cause of death was speculated to have been caused by drug use. Furthermore, mentions of Derek Faxlinger come up in reference to an MLive article, which states that he passed away from an epileptic seizure and had his organs donated to those in need.
Wow.
Even still, though, nothing definitive on whether this came from the fallout of the real Blair Witch ever came up. Onlookers then were just as conflicted, just as confused as all of us today.
That girl looked high.
Welcome to college.
Unexpected
For a
fallout.
while, it seemed like this was the end to the real Blair Witch saga.
Right,
A lost
man.
media legend turned criminal battle that resulted in the loss of 3
Like, what's
lives.
going on?
However, an entire year after the original Reddit post was made, a user named Beef Brothel emerged out of seemingly nowhere, shedding light on the deaths of their supposed friends.
Oh, my picture.
Derek, John, and Trav have all passed away. Derek had a
Dang.
seizure in the shower and sadly passed from that.
In the
His
shower?
organs were donated and saved quite a few people. He was an extremely kind person and gave great hugs. Travis
Nah,
had a
bruh,
terrible
that
tooth
sounds
infection,
suspicious.
and I'm not sure
The
if that was the
organ
cause,
donation stuff?
but it was a contributing factor in his death. John was depressed. I can't deny that. His mother died and they were quite close, so his partying ramped up during the period after her passing. Another friend was with him that night. They were celebrating his new apartment, and it was simply an accidental overdose. He was one of my best friends, and I'm still angry at him for being so careless, especially because things were moving in such a positive direction for him. None of their deaths were because of the pressure of the case. Jim and I still talk occasionally, but he moved to another state and lives a private life. He's a good man, and I think he was affected the most by this situation. The girl apologized to them after the fact and insisted that she never wanted any of this to happen. She was known to our graduating class as a notorious exaggerator before any of this ever happened, so there's that. Plus, she was young and was being told by a lot of authority figures that she had to go along with this prosecution. She claimed after the fact that she believed taking the video from the house would prove that it was just a joke and everyone would just get off the hook. She didn't realize that John was pausing the recording between shots. Part of me thinks she initially enjoyed the initial attention, but it spiraled way out of control. If I didn't know, these guys participated in these types of pranks on all of our friends weekly, made a dozen backyard horror films with them, spent all of my free time with them for years. I would think they were psychos too. That's just not the case. Jackass and Blair Witch were huge at this time, so it was kind of a mashup of the two genres to them.
What?
We all knew that if you went to Rancho, you could get pranked. It's just how things were. They did almost the exact thing to another friend a week or two before, and she was the one who
Don't
suggested
go over to
that we
Rancho.
film it next time. Unfortunate.
Not going to Rancho.
This was a devastating time for our group of friends, their families, and their loved ones. Visiting them in jail was bonkers. I'll never forget how sad they all looked and how many people came to see them. Everyone knew that they did not do this maliciously, except the prosecutor, and he was a real asshole. Long story short, it was a prank, and everyone except the law knew that.
Man, nah, bro, that's still fucked up, bro. Like, bro, I don't know how to express more how more messed up it is, bro.
Say hello.
Hi.
They whipped out a camera on
Okay,
her
I
and
have a
got to
question
asking
for
her
you.
crazy questions.
You just said hi. But if you had one thing to say, if this was your last day on Earth, what would it be?
Fuck you.
Why fuck
The real Blair Witch incident is a bizarre, unsettling chapter in the history of
Exactly,
lost media. A story that serves as
Oh,
both a
so I-
reflection of our deepest
talking about the
fears
movie.
and a reminder of the human capacity for cruelty. How far
Facts.
would you go for a chance to escape a place in which you have no future? Was Danielle in on things, or was she truly terrified for her life that night? I've always said that lost media, by nature, carries this enduring sense of mystery, and in my opinion, this one is no different. It is, and always will be, eerie, a look into the lives of intensely conflicted individuals. But if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that we may likely never, ever get our hands on the full original tape in its entirety.
Nope.
The
They done
story of
got rid
Danielle
of that or
Taylor will
something.
forever live on through the lens of news reports and documentaries. And in its wake, an unsolvable question. Did she truly know?
I don't think
Perhaps
she knew,
we
bro.
never will.
Y'all think she knew,
A
bro?
lost media mystery.
Let
that
me know
may
if y'all
never
think she
find
knew, bro. I
a
don't think she
resolution.
knew, bro. Cause ain't no way you could know about something like that and let somebody do something crazy to you, bro. Like, how could you know about this? Like, if you knew about it, if I knew about this, you feel me? You not tying me up. You not putting me in the dark doing no crazy shit behind me. You like all that shit that they was doing, you not doing. We about to figure out how to do this shit where I'm more comfortable. You feel me? And that's why I said I feel like they wanted her genuine fear. And that's why they didn't tell her. So when they made the shoot, it was gonna be genuine fear coming off of her, and that's what they wanted. So I feel like she didn't know. Like, she probably she probably ended up realizing after a while. I mean, but still was probably scared at the same time. She could have been unsure. You know what I'm saying? Like, that joint get crazy, man. Joint get crazy. Well, we're gonna check this out. The Darkest Lost Media, Volume 3.
Ready to unlock Roblox digital gift cards?
No, man. I'm not care about that. Special announcements after the credit time. Topics discussed in this video are disturbing and contain reenactments of real events. Oh, this look creepy, bro. I don't like how this shit look. Oh, hell no. Get her off the screen. Get all them off the screen. Hell no. Get them all off the screen. The darkest lost media.